Do you want to crush every single day and have energy at the end of every single day? I want to show you my daily planning system that will ensure that you will not only get more done, but also feel great at the end of the day. I, like most people, used to struggle with overwhelm and then be burnt out at the end of the day. But after working with my coach for many years, we came up with some simple questions that have helped me to visualize what I need to maximize my day. I spent tens of thousands of dollars coming up with this system, and I'm giving it to you here for free. Did you know that if you work for 40 years, that's 10,400 days? What if you could make those days 50% better, or even 10% better? Or what about 1% better? I promise if you implement these questions, you are going to do that. You're going to feel much more accomplished and you're going to feel much more energy. If you want to download the worksheet that I call the Daily Progress Planner for free, that has all of these questions that I'm about to go over, go to tonyjavier.com/planner. All right, so let's get into this. The first thing I like to do to make sure my day is way more effective is to go into my calendar and my to-do list and ask myself the 3 Ds. What can I delegate? What can I delete? Or what can I defer? Since I've implemented what I call the 3D system, I've been able to free up about 50% of my calendar. In fact, when I first started implementing this, I went from a full packed day to having only one appointment. I went from being mentally overwhelmed and full for a full day to literally just having one appointment where I could spend the other 7 hours doing things that I know I love to do, that I was good at, and I knew would move the needle. That single day when I used this system to free up pretty much a full day is when I realized how powerful this system is. Think about all the things that we take on that either we don't need to do or we don't need to do ourselves. There are so many things that we take on that we don't need to do ourselves or can be pushed back to a later time. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and let's dive into the 3 Ds. So the first is delegate. What are things that somebody else can do that I don't need to do? If there's something that I'm not good at, there's something I don't like, or doesn't bring much value to my business, then I for sure delegate those things. I want to utilize my time for things that I like, things that I'm good at, and bring a lot to my business. Some of you may say, well, I don't have anybody to delegate to. I bet you can find things you can delegate to other people you know. For instance, let's say a contractor gives you an estimate and you need something done with it. Don't be afraid to ask them. So many people have issues asking for help. Just simply ask. This delegation system saves me so much time. For instance, yesterday I got a list of questions from my bank about my financials. And instead of me digging into the financials and spending an hour to find those answers, I sent it to my CPA and he was able to get it back to my bank within the day. It took me less than 30 seconds to forward that email to him as opposed to having to take an hour to do it myself. The next is delete. There are also so many things that people take on that if they decided not to do it and just get rid of it, that it would literally have no impact on them. Things like, can I pick your brain meetings, or meetings that you know that you just don't need to be there. In fact, I realized that team meetings were not the best use of my time. So I stopped going to those meetings, and it frees me up about 4 hours a month that I can use somewhere else. And that's just one thing I deleted. If you look at your calendar and to-do list, I bet you can find many things that you can cancel and cross off your list. And the last D is defer. There are things that you have to do yourself that do not need to be done right now. These are things that you cannot delegate and you cannot delete. I put these things on a defer list and I do them when I have time and I'm not doing important projects. Another way to do this in your email inbox is to snooze something to a later date. Maybe like a Friday when you know you're not nearly as busy. So that is the 3D system. I promise you that by itself will change the game for you. So if there's anything in this you're going to implement that. The next thing is going over my top 3 things for the day. They say that the first 90 minutes of your day are going to be the most productive. So look at everything you have to do and come up with 3 things that if you did those things and that's it, you would feel accomplished. Whenever I put my top 3 things down and I get them done first thing in the morning, I feel like I can literally take the rest of the day off. And in fact, some days I have. These are typically things that have to do with marketing, have to do with sales, or maybe financials. Things that you know if you did them would move the needle forward or do something big in your business. I can bring the energy to you guys, and I know what impact it's going to have on you and it's going to have on my channel. So take the 50 to 100 things that you have to do any single day, pick 3 things and make sure you get those done first thing in the morning. So there's 3 things that I ask myself now that I feel like will bring me energy. So the first thing is, what can I do for someone else? That typically has to do with something I'm going to do for my wife, something I'm going to do for my son, or something I'm going to do for a staff member. Sometimes we spend so much time focusing on what we have to do and what we can do for ourselves that if we just take a moment and literally just maybe send a text message to somebody else, thanking them for something or showing gratitude or appreciation for them, that it just has an impact on your energy and it helps you to start thinking about other people. The next question is, what can I do that is healthy? Think about if you can just do one healthy thing per day. It might be go on a walk for 20 minutes and maybe eat a nice healthy lunch. It might be taking an extra hour off so that you can rest, relax, take a nap or something like that. Imagine if you do one of those things for 10,400 days. What kind of impact is it going to have on your health? What impact is it going to have on your energy? And how much longer do you think you would live? And sometimes we feel so busy that we forget to schedule fun things. So what is one fun thing that you can do today? So for me, this is maybe take a walk. So that actually can knock off 2 things, healthy and something fun I can do. So this might be leaving early from work and playing pickleball. This might be leaving early to go do something fun with my wife. This might be taking a walk, which actually could be a healthy thing and a fun thing. Just something that helps lift the mood and something to look forward to. Anytime I schedule something fun later in the day, it makes the day go by so much faster and so much better because I'm looking forward to that one thing. So those 3 questions are very powerful. So the next thing that I do is gratitude. What are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? There's actually a lot of people that have said that if you're depressed, one of the things that you can do to really get out of it is gratitude. Literally just writing down 3 simple things you're grateful for today. Could be something as simple as waking up, could be something as simple as the latte you're drinking in the morning, just having gratitude for all the little things. That doesn't mean it has to be little things, it could be big things as well. This is something that can really lift up your mood and make you feel so much better. And last but not least, the last question I like to ask myself is, what are 3 words that describe who I want to be today? This is so powerful for the subconscious. So think of some things that you feel like you struggle with. So for me, my go-to things, if I can't think of anything else, are presence, energy, and confidence. I know that if I can have those 3 things in my day, that they're going to be so much better. If I can have presence with the people that I'm with, if I can have presence in the negotiations I do, just overall presence, I know for me, will make me more effective and make me happier and feel more accomplished. And then energy, if I can just have energy throughout the day, and it's interesting when I write that down, how much more energy I have, and it's really subconscious. And then confidence, just confidence in what I'm doing, confidence in decisions, confidence when I'm recording videos, confidence when I'm talking with people. People can just feel that confidence in you, and when you're confident, you can feel it in yourself. So think of 3 words that you feel like that if you could be those 3 words any day, that you would pick those 3 words and make those your 3 go-to words. But then think about each day what day you're struggling with or that week you're struggling with, and start putting some of those words in action and start putting some of those words down on paper, and subconsciously they are going to start happening. And subconsciously you're going to start being those things. And if you want to go a step further, write those 3 things down and carry it in your pocket and try and look at it multiple times per day. But even if you don't look at it, it's still going to be in your subconscious. So if you haven't done it already, please go to tonyjavier.com/planner to download this daily progress planner. Again, if you implement this every single day, or even if you do it once a week, just start with once a week that you implement this daily progress planner, and I promise it's going to change your life. I started implementing this about 6 years ago, and I can tell you the days that I do it compared to the days I don't are dramatically different. This is something that can be done first thing in the morning, but you know what's even better is doing this the night before. In fact, I have a electronic notebook that I have all these questions on, and I'll try and write those every single night. And then the next evening, all I have to do is erase it and then answer those questions again. So I'm on a mission to help people double their income or help them work half the time. And if you do things really well, you can do both. So if you really think this video helped you, go check out this one. You're gonna love this next one.